You guys, welcome to your week. Yeah, you are off Thanksgiving. You are done with the family stuff. You have survived it. You are strong. You are kind. You've done it, you guys. And now we're back with a pop culture roundup. And joining us, she has not joined us solo in so long because she is so dang busy with her hit podcast, Beyond the Blinds, with our friend Troy McKeady. But you also know her from Nostalgia Now, that podcast from a while back, and you also know her from her hit Instagram account that's tearing up the charts. I feel like Casey Kasem. Anyways, the Laguna Biatch, Kelli Williams, is here to help us with the pop culture roundup. Kelli, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. It's been a long time, Ryan. So
I
I'm
know.
excited to just chat with you.
Well, first off, I mean, Kelli, I find your personal life always more fascinating than some of the stories because you are an appreciator of Red Bull vodkas, of a White Claw. In fact, me and Lex and Nico were talking because you're good friends with Lex. And she said, I said, hey, make sure you have a White Claw or Red Bull and vodka because you guys were going to see each other. How many White Claws have you consumed over this Thanksgiving holiday?
Quite a few. I will say I went out night before Thanksgiving, but after that night, I was like, you know what? Maybe for the rest of the weekend, I should chill out.
No, that's good. That's good. I think everybody does need that one really tough, hard Thanksgiving hangover potentially. But is this your second Thanksgiving in New York or your first?
No, it's my first. I've only been here since April.
So what was this like? Was this special? And are you going to be spending the holidays here as well in December? Is this new, all new for you?
No, I did stay here for Thanksgiving because I do think Thanksgiving and December and Christmas are far too close together. I cannot see my family that much. So Christmas, I'll be with the family. Thanksgiving is just, a friend holiday at this point.
We're in this weird phase of when you get to Thanksgiving that it's like a tractor beam that doesn't stop until the new year. And you're like screwed. There's whatever we do now, all those plans that we made back in January of last year, it starts as you get older, you guys, it starts to get sadder and sadder because you're like another year where it didn't all happen the way I thought it would,
For sure. And again, I think holidays are too close, especially this time of year. We need to space them out a little more.
Yeah. Wait, by the way, I'm not the government. I am so not for big government, but there's certain things they could do to help us out. It makes no sense. Daylight savings time makes no sense. This Thanksgiving Christmas thing, wouldn't it be cool to have Thanksgiving in the middle of the summer?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if turkey, not, I don't know if turkey and gravy would sit super well in the middle of July.
Brian, I'm not going to run on that problem. That's not going to be part of my campaign. Okay, well, let's just dive into it. Beyond the Blinds, you guys, by the way, if you haven't, I know all you guys listen to it. You said there's no new tour dates coming up, which is a shame, but I'm sure you will be able to, and something's in the works. And always you just go follow them on their Instagrams where you can find anything. And they just signed with Cloud 10, who's the company that I'm with iHeartRadio. So that's exciting. So also your Patreon, Small Business Saturday was just yesterday. Go join their Patreon because their Patreon, you guys, that's where even the crazier stuff is.
Yeah, we keep some stuff behind a paywall. If it's a crazy fandom that we don't want to deal with, or just a lot of really bad information, it's behind the paywall.
The stuff we could get sued for is behind a paywall. That is.
I know we're really leaning on the Wendy Williams School of Law where everything's alleged, and we just hope that covers it.
Well, I love pop culture so much, and I love I'm not good at blinds because I'm just not good at any kind of guessing game to begin with. But I always appreciate the people like you that can do that. Or NT Lawyer was always a big thing for me, and just any kind of blind item gossip. But I realize how stupid I am sometimes because I cannot use. I'm like, well, who does that? The brother of the sister of the who? And so I'm always looking at the comments for somebody to tell me what you guys just did. Am I mistaken? You did something behind a paywall about Tom Hanks?
Oh, we did it public.
Okay, you did that public.
Yes.
I'm scared to listen to that episode because I think we talked about this last time, you guys. I have such a kind of a weird hero worship on Tom Hanks, just as a geek actor, as a kid, he was the guy, but then he also created Chet Hanks. So we know things aren't, what are some of the secrets you uncovered about Tom Hanks on a main episode?
I think one of my favorite things is that him and Henry Winkler have had a feud for like 40 years. I had no idea about this feud, and the second I found out about it, I became obsessed.
Henry Winkler, by the way, you guys, nicest guy. He rose to fame as the Fonz on Happy Days, but you might know him as Barry, which he just like won an Emmy for playing, across Bill Hader. And you guys, he is considered the nicest guy in Hollywood, Henry Winkler. And Tom Hanks worked with Henry Winkler. Like, what was it like? They worked on a movie and he got like Henry Winkler fired or something?
Yeah, he was supposed to direct, I believe, Turner and Hooch.
Oh yeah, the dog movie. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And then after 13 days of directing, Tom Hanks got him fired.
And there's video footage of this. There's a Bravo connection on Watch What Happens Live where this got asked, and Henry Winkler just kind of was like, I have nothing to say on the matter, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. I would also say I did not know Rita Wilson is allegedly like the worst.
Okay, now I don't know why I heard that too, actually.
Yeah.
I heard, and Rita Wilson, you guys, has a lot of people don't know this, has a country music singer career, and she even played Stagecoach Music Festival a couple of years ago, I think pre-pandemic. But it's like, isn't that wild when you're married to somebody like Tom Hanks? And Rita Wilson's a fine actor in her own right, but you can then go off and do crazy things like become a country singer if you're married to Tom Hanks, because that's the kind of power Tom has.
I know. Is that like a nepotism wife?
That is actually, well, is it called a wepotism? Like a wepotism? Like there is something to do with that. Is there, but because also there's Steven Spielberg and his wife, who I don't know, like, what's her name? She was in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, but she's another one supposedly best friends with Rita Wilson. They have this society of like, I think they all live in the Pacific Palisades. Mm-hmm. And I always just think like, it's like the Kardashians have Calabasas and the Spielberg Hankses with Tim Allen, they have the Palisades. So LA's broken into these weird subsections that always fascinate me. But what else? Like, Tom Hanks also allegedly, I don't know if you guys talked about this, had like a brief, I think in the 80s, maybe around the Hooch movie, had a brief dalliance with cocaine.
Oh, we didn't talk about that, but we did talk about his alleged relationship with Jennifer Goodwin, which is another fun one.
Okay, you guys, what Kelli is saying, and this is how we're starting light, you guys. What Kelli is saying, and you probably already listened to their episode, but if not, Jennifer Goodwin, who of course, great actress, she was in Big Love on HBO. They allegedly, which Tom Hanks was one of the producers on Big Love with Gary Getzman on Playtone, I think that's his company, had an affair with her for multiple years. What information did you have or speculate about?
It was mostly just blind items of them allegedly, like, we're saying allegedly so much. Your listeners are like, enough.
Yeah. I always just feel like you need to say it just in case. Like, I just say allegedly. I say allegedly when I go to the bathroom now by myself. I'm like, allegedly, I'm going to go do this,
But yeah, just like their red carpet pictures we kind of dove into, and just blind items of them sneaking around and things like that.
Is it? I know this is. I know it's the Monday after Thanksgiving. This might turn your stomach a little. I can't picture Tom Hanks having sex. It's just something I can't picture. I can't even.
No.
He seems asexual, and I like that about him.
His voice is kind of rough too, so like I can't imagine the sound.
Well, me and Annabelle DeSisto just did You've Got Mail recap, and he's always doing these, like. On You've Got Mail, it's a lot of like funny faces while he's typing, and I was like, and I always just imagine faces while he's hooking up with you is just not as cute as it is on film.
No, not at all.
Guys, by the way, I love that we're up to date on. Let's actually get to stuff that is actually you. Of course, are one Taylor Swift fans out there, correct?
Yes, I'm a big Swiftie.
Okay. So how Swift concerts?
Hang on, you just broke up a little bit.
Let me see. One sec. Test. Ryan 1114. One sec. You're one of the biggest Taylor Swift fans out there. Did you get tickets to any of the Taylor Swift concerts?
I did. I was lucky enough. I'm going to 2 shows. I was in charge of getting tickets. I'm scared to admit that because I know a lot of people had trouble, but I was lucky enough to get tickets.
Wait, Kelly, pause one more second. I'm going to see this Wi-Fi is okay. You just said you were in charge of getting two separate tickets for Taylor Swift, or 2 separate concerts.
Yes, for New York friends and Massachusetts friends. So I was in charge of that.
Will you walk us through your process? I mean, you had to get a verified pre-sale code, or did you have a secret connection for these tickets?
No, I did the verified fans, and then I had a Capital One card. So I did the Capital One, and I don't know. I mean, in my mind, I just went into it, Ryan. I was like, there's no way I'm not getting these tickets.
So you went in such a positive mindset.
When everyone's freaking out, I'm like, no, there's no way I'm not getting them.
So, okay. And by the way, Kelly is failing to mention she's $80,000 in debt on her Capital One card as of today.
Guess what? I'm super rich in resale money. Okay. I'm like a millionaire for resale money.
Well, but that's what's so crazy is that I'm reading articles selling some of these tickets are going for $10,000, $20,000.
It's insane. And I will say I'm not one of those people. All my tickets have been, I'm going with friends, and I'm not going to be reselling them for crazy money or anything like that.
Not that we know. I mean, you might at a later day. I mean, who knows what the year's going to because these shows are not for a while.
I know these friends need to stay in line.
Stay in line, people. Well, this is what Taylor Swift wrote, you guys, about the Ticketmaster horror that happened because the pre-sale was just a mess. And then the actual general sale didn't even go on sale, you guys. And this is what she wrote. Well, it goes without saying that I'm extremely protective of my fans. We've been doing this for decades together. And over the years, I've brought so many elements of my career in-house. I've done this specifically to improve the quality of my fans' experience by doing it myself with my team who care as much about my fans as I do. It's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationships and loyalties, and excruciating for me just to watch mistakes happen with no recourse. There are a multitude of reasons why people had such a hard time trying to get tickets, and I'm trying to figure out how the situation can be improved moving forward. I'm not going to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could. It's truly amazing that 2.4 million people got tickets, but it really pisses me off that a lot of them feel like they went through several bear attacks to get them. And to those who didn't get tickets, all I can say is that my hope is to provide more opportunities for us all to get together and sing these songs. Thank you for wanting to be there. You have no idea how much that means. How do you rate that as a Taylor Swift letter to her fans?
I don't think Taylor always says the right thing. I think that's kind of all she could say.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if eventually there's a Taylor Swift Ticketmaster, Taylor Swift tickets instead of going through Ticketmaster.
Well, Pearl Jam, you guys, for all those that tried to do this with Ticketmaster in in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
They took on Ticketmaster because they were this is an illegal monopoly. And especially now that Ticketmaster and Live Nation kind of formed an alliance where Live Nation owns most of the venues and Ticketmaster takes all the tickets, it just doesn't make it fair. But also what I'm thinking too is that you're telling me the general sale, they had already sold all the tickets, or was there something where Ticketmaster was you know what, we're going to hold all of these back and sell these on resale markets now because we know the demand is insane, but they couldn't do that, right? That's completely illegal. And Taylor would jump in.
I mean, I think it just depends. I know they're going to the Supreme Court to talk about Ticketmaster at this point.
Finally.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, I think it was back in 2012, 2013, Ticketmaster did lose a lawsuit and they gave out free tickets to a bunch of shows or $10 tickets. Do you remember that?
Kelly, oh my God. It was so annoying, you guys, because they would give out you can buy these $10 shows, or they also had like each code was worth
Yes.
$2.25, and you would have to put in 100 codes to get a discount. And I got so frustrated that I never even used them because it was too complicated. And they knew that. They did that to screw us.
Absolutely. And the $10 shows were shows nobody wanted to go to anyway. It was like, even though I would be front row, it was like Hinder in the McDonald's parking lot.
It was Howie from the Backstreet Boys solo tour. Yeah.
Howie and Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. Chris and Joey Fatone together at last. Yeah. No, but they made it like you jump through hoops and it just shows you. But it is funny though. Taylor, I was saying this the other day, Taylor Swift like legitimately seems like the only person, like we should give her gun control. We should give her, because it seems like people jump to when it's Taylor Swift. Like people hop to for her. Like we need to give her the bigger issues in life.
Yeah, and if not her, the Swifties. Like,
I mean, together, I mean, like this is what I'm saying. We will probably take down Ticketmaster because of Taylor Swift. What else can we do together as
I mean, she even changed like the way artists were paid for streaming songs.
I mean, really, that's what we're looking for is somebody that's influence. And we always talk about or Kanye or whatever. Kanye has not I mean, it's ridiculous. But also, are you a fan of Midnights, the album?
I'm not, Ryan. And when I said that on my Instagram story, I got reported and banned on Instagram. And I'm like, I'm one of you guys.
Wait, was that what? Because by the way, guys, a couple of weeks ago, we went through it was like a really hard day on the internet because I saw that all of a sudden the rumor was, or on Instagram, if you hang out there, that all of a sudden Laguna Beach was not on Instagram anymore. And I was like, what? Because I'm always I always get I don't know, I hate saying shadow ban, but like I get demonetized. I get all this stuff because I'll say something that I think is an obvious joke, and they're like, that's threatening an assault or something. It's something stupid. But why did you get kicked off?
So I can only assume I got kicked off. It said for bullying. And all I said on my Instagram story was that I did not like Midnights.
Well, see that. Okay, I would have kicked you off too. That is really that you deserve that actually. Now that wait, you think you got reported for saying you act in Midnights?
I can't imagine anything else I said on my Instagram stories. Because usually I try and keep it pretty PC. My Twitter's where I go to be like truly unhinged.
But well, I do want to talk to you about Twitter too, actually, because I do worry if Twitter goes down, where will you be unhinged? But so how did you get your account back up? Did you have to say you liked Midnights?
No, I had to find someone who worked for Instagram. And they had to put in a report because that's the only way you can get your account back. Instagram doesn't have like a help.
No, it's so true, you guys. Instagram, like when it's all AI. So like they said I posted a nude photo and it was just somebody's like bare legs, and I go, this is not. And and you can what is it called, where you can like ask like, I want to a second opinion or something like that, and they did it again, and I'm like, guys, this is not a nude photo in any way. So I do not know what AI thinks this is, but it's like literally just some girl's legs with a sign over. Like it was so weird, and you realize there's no helpline. It's like Uber.
No, you have to find someone who works for Instagram, and you have to like convince them.
Those poor people at Instagram that know, because they must get the wildest, like, yo, my friend said she didn't like Midnights. Can you help her?
Yeah. Again, that's all I said. And I have to give a shout out to Shannon, who does Fluently Forward, because it was her friend, Sydney, who helped me.
I love Shannon. Yes. So, okay. So you're back on, but then it's weird though, because I get then scared of like what I'm going to post. And I post silly memes. I don't even post like my real life stuff. And like, you're like, wow, what is going to do it? Like you can get people to mass complain if you don't like what they like. And then that can actually affect this is our career. Like, sadly enough, this is what we do for a living.
Well, it's so funny. I finally decided I could be like a content creator full time. And the second I decided it, my Instagram got removed.
That was it. Like, I remember you guys, like I finally got 50,000 in like January or February of this past year. And I was like, look at me, things are happening. And literally the same week I got demonetized and they banned me for 3 months. And it was like, you just saw it go down and down. Like, it was like a sieve, like it just turned off. And I was like, wow. And by the way, you could say, oh, you were making stupider jokes. No, I was making the same stupid jokes I always made that got me to 50,000. You can see it, and it is so eerie how they can turn it off like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy out there, guys.
So basically, we love Midnights. That's what we want to say.
Yes.
But I will say, listening to Midnights, I'm like, out of the last couple of albums, I'm a Folklore, Evermore kind of gal myself. And this is, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's fine. I'm more excited that she's going to go on tour with her Eras tour, which will do, songs from each one of these albums, supposedly.
Yeah. Are you going? Did you get tickets?
I tried to get the verified presale. Didn't even do that. Like, didn't even get that. Didn't even get a, like, sorry, thanks for playing email.
Oh, Ryan, I'm so sorry.
Dude, I mean, at least I'm scared though, because thank God I didn't have a bear attack. Some of these people, Taylor says, has literal bear attacks.
Yeah.
Like, what a wild word that Taylor used was actual bear attacks. Since you are Laguna Biatch, I wanted to take a moment to celebrate the birth of Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt's second child. You, of course, that is how you started your account, Laguna Beach. And I know you've had a complicated history with Spencer in the past. Have you guys come to any sort of any kind of forgiveness era?
So this is the update. He was on TikTok live and I was commenting. I'm like, it's that game where you like try and win. I don't even know how to play. It's like a versus
he's
game.
always doing stuff where it's like, they're like, all of a sudden I'll get an alert. Like there's like 1 million people playing this game with Spencer Pratt.
So I started commenting and I was like, let me in. We need to end this beef. Like, let me in. And he was like, Laguna Biatch, I would have let you in if you weren't such a Lauren fan.
Oh.
And you know what? I'm sticking with Lauren.
Okay, wait. What did you think of her most recent podcast with Stephen Coletti, and like when she actually was a guest on their Rewatch podcast with Lauren Conrad? Did you listen to that?
Yeah, I thought it was actually really good. I think she gave more than I expected. Obviously she's not going to go in there and give you like every single thing, but I thought it was interesting and I thought she did a good job, and people will say she's boring, which she is, which is why I like her.
I like that she's like the JD Salinger of reality star, where she just disappeared. Like she's just like out there. She's like living her life. She's like, I don't need the public spotlight. So there's like random disappearances like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts on the Kardashians? Because I mean, we've talked about them multiple times. Obviously you don't have a Kardashian account, but you have talked about the Kardashians on with Troy and things like that. But I was just looking at their Thanksgiving. And did you see what they did for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was like Renaissance photos.
Yeah, like I think it was at one of the Palm Springs mansions, and they did this whole wall of each one of the Kardashians and surrounding Kardashian families and the Jenners. They each had like a royal photo, like Renaissance royalty. And it was like on this whole wall, and like underneath it was, I think, the serving carafes for the food. And like, stop.
Yeah. I genuinely find the Kardashians like very gross. Like,
I mean, but it's getting worse. Like, do you guys like, it's like, stop. Like at a certain point, I really like we're going to eventually get to the point. It's like, eat the rich. Like I feel like they're bragging so much about like that. It's almost starting to like hit that thing of like, it's not funny, or like it's not even aspirational anymore. And it's not, it's kind of gross. It's really gross.
Yeah. And I actually have a question that I think you could maybe give some light on, because I know you know a lot about the Kardashians.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Do you think it's weird how Kylie and Khloe haven't like shown their sons, but show their daughters all the time? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I saw it on Twitter and I was like,
I do find it weird. I do find it weird, but I find it weird in this whole way that how Kris Jenner has taught them to treat men their whole life. That it's like, even like we always say that the men are usually the biggest mistakes in the Kardashians' lives. They always pick the wrong men. But also at the same time, Kris Jenner will always it seems like served the men in their lives before the women. Like we even had an example this week where Kim went and talked to some prisoners, had a Thanksgiving meal with them, and brought Tristan Thompson with her. Now, brought Tristan Thompson, this man that ultimately cheated multiple times on Khloe. They just had another second child together. They're not together anymore, but here's Kim bringing him in the fold, wants him still to be part of this family. But we've seen this where Chris has never fully gone to war with Kanye. Like, Chris will, love Scott Disick. And I like Scott too, but like, it's weird. It's almost like she's passed down this thing to the women that the men are to be idolized and they make the biggest mistakes, yet we should Lion King hold them up and protect them. Yet all the girls are allowed to do the TikToks and all of the, but the guys, I don't know. What's your take on it?
I don't know. I just think it's really like strange. Even in the portrait of Khloe holding the baby's back is facing the portrait.
Maybe the baby doesn't have a face. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe it's one of the babies born without a face.
You're right. I should have thought of that.
Yeah. See, you didn't think. Well, I did notice that. And by the way, they did have a Caitlyn Jenner one. People said but Caitlyn was included. Yeah, baby, I have one too. Woo! Travis had one with a face tattoo on it, because you even had the Barker kids having their own. And then what do you think happens with those photos afterwards? Like, what do you like? Did they just go directly to storage?
I think they probably hang it above their beds.
Because I was like, where do you think all the inflatables, like for Stormy World, when they used to throw those birthday parties for Stormy and they had the giant scary inflatables, that like, where do they keep those? There's got to be some like facility in Calabasas where all the inflatables are held.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Also, this is another disgusting fact. They all took private jets from Calabasas to Palm Springs for Thanksgiving, which is just insane because it's a 2-hour car ride, yet they're taking jets. And now I don't know if you guys believe in climate change or where you stand on that, but I have a feeling climates are changing out there. And I do think it is weirdly irresponsible to use a private jet like I use my Toyota Corolla to go to Target. Like like I could walk to Target. It's close to my place. Like I don't need to drive, but they're taking jets everywhere. It's just too much. There was the season finale of the Kardashians, season 2 of the Hulu show this week. And I'm assuming you didn't watch, right?
I have not watched it.
It's called Self-Care, Kelly. I'm proud of you. But like, I didn't watch it yet either. And I thought it was interesting that they put it out on the week of Thanksgiving, because even Bravo shows didn't like put new episodes out. And I think that's kind of the point with the Kardashians, is that even the show doesn't really matter anymore. It only matters in terms of just keeping them out there, keeping them there.
Yeah. Do you think the facade of the Kardashians is finally starting to fall a bit, like the stock that people had in the Kardashians?
I think so to a degree, but at the same time, once you get to this level, it's like it never, like, it just doesn't stop unless you're Kanye and say, like, it would stop if all of a sudden all of the Kardashians started saying anti-Semitic things. Like, then you could get it to stop like that. But other than that, I feel like it's that snowball rolling down the hill. Like, it's too late. Like I just don't know where you go further. And at a certain point, I would think that you wouldn't want to show this on a show anymore, because it becomes too disgusting of a lifestyle. Like, I showed my dad an episode, and he saw that they have like a Kim Air mat that they put down on the private jet airstrip to walk on. And he was like, this is disgusting. He was really horrified. Yeah,
for sure. I agree.
Have you followed the Balenciaga campaign at all? I know we're both fashionistas. Are you aware? I've been made aware by TikTok of this Balenciaga campaign with children and bears dressed in S&M gear. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I saw pictures. It's all weird. Balenciaga is like, what the fuck?
Okay, guys. Yeah. Balenciaga does this campaign, and like Balenciaga now is like really like trying to backtrack, and they're doing a $25 million lawsuit against the creators of this ad campaign. But let me just tell you how ad campaigns are created. They're not usually like Balenciaga's never like, we're going to give you money, just surprise us. Like just do something fun. Like they're never like that. It is so signed off by like so many people. That's how advertising works. So the fact that they didn't realize that these kids had bears and like little stuffed animals in S&M gear, they knew that from the very start. But then this is why TikTok is so damn scary, you guys. These TikTok detectives, I mean, they're breaking it down where they're like zooming in and they're finding out that like one of it has like the court papers of this landmark case in children pornography. And then there's like this other book with demonic images in the background. And I'm like, what the? I mean, two scary things here, the Balenciaga campaign and how scary TikTok detectives, like how good they are. Are you a TikTok detective, Kelli?
I'm not, but I love to follow them.
But doesn't it blow you away when they like I just look at a photo and I'm like, okay, cool. And like these people are zooming in and doing research. Like I would have gone to a good college if I could do this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think everything with TikTok changed with Gabby Petito. And that's when like the TikTok detectives really started spinning and it worked, you know.
They got one. Yeah. Like the TikTok detective agency got one with that. And it really did help. But like these things, you'll get into these where you're like, and I'm always watching, like I'm in bed late at night and I'm just like, then I'm scared. Like I'm scared late at night watching TikTok of these, like, but what do you think possesses a company like Balenciaga or any of these companies to even hint at child pornography?
I just think, honestly, I think entertainment in general is so gross with children.
Yeah.
And I hate, like, I know a lot of people are probably grossed out of me saying that, but I don't think the way the media treats children is like okay at all.
Oh, you guys done episodes on Dan Snyder. We've talked about, I mean, like even just like from the very beginning, like just any child star, they're just not going to have a normal life. So any of this is already, you're setting yourself up for failure in a lot of ways.
Right. And to me, I'm just like, how is this approved over and over and over again for a major, major company that is so connected to celebrity life?
Yeah.
So to me, it's more like, well, they think it's appropriate for a reason.
Yeah. And I just don't know if it's like, because you're like, any attention is good attention, but at the same time, pop culture, I feel like, has taken a turn where to me, it used to be like, well, there's no way that's true because they wouldn't want the negative spotlight. But now I feel like we're in a day and age, and I would love your opinion on this, is that like the negative spotlight almost seems like the craved spotlight sometimes. Do you think that at all, or am I just talking out of my ass?
No, I agree with that. I think some people just don't care as long as they're being talked about, because the way our news cycle is at this point, everything moves so quick. So our attention spans are already like goldfish. But, you know, this Balenciaga thing is happening right now, but in a week, we'll be talking about something else. So really, at the end of the day, I hope something changes. You know, I hope that this matters to people and they really don't buy this product. But end of the day, in a week, Kanye West is going to say something crazy. And then a week later, someone else will do something crazy. So we're already 2 weeks away from Balenciaga, not talking about it anymore.
Well, 2 points. First off, my main clothing manufacturer, Old Navy, would never pull shit like this.
Me too. I love Old Navy.
Never pull shit like this. Secondly, that you brought up the Kanye point, is that's the other crazy thing that we're dealing with in pop culture now that we didn't have to deal with 20 years ago, is that, oh, they're making Kanye do something crazy to distract away from this. And it's like, this is where it really confuses me, because I'm like, you're then saying that everything pop culture is now a gigantic chessboard and that all of the players involved are playing the game and that they are playing their roles, and their roles can be like WWE, like wrestlers, where Kanye will now be the villain to take away from what's going on over here. And I just still don't subscribe to the theory that everybody, like Taylor Swift to me is the smartest person in terms of like Da Vinci Code clues and like putting things out in Easter eggs. I don't believe that there's some master graph chart where they're making Kanye say wild things to take attention away from the Kardashians or Balenciaga over here.
No, but I do think with the Kardashians specifically, they do that. They'll have like their sacrificial lambs, right? They'll be like, Khloe, guess what? We need to expose that Tristan cheated on you again because Astroworld happened. It's like, hey, Kendall, everyone is talking about how you're gay, but that's how they work. That's how that family specifically works.
I do love them having like those phone calls Chris has to make in the middle of the night of like, Astro World just happened, Chloe. I hate to do this to you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to release more footage of Tristan cheating. Like we just have to do it.
Kendall, a lot of people think you're gay, so we're gonna have to have you kiss your boyfriend on screen somewhere again. Like just things like that.
You brought up the Kindle thing, and the Kindle was a story that I had written down actually, because Kindle to me is hysterical because she's obviously beautiful and very tall and very hairless and great. All amazing.
Very hairless.
And she loves to date NBA basketball players. Good for you. So she supposedly was with this guy, Devin Booker, who played for the Phoenix Suns. Then they broke up. Then they got back together, but it was all kind of like down low. And now supposedly they've broken up again. But it was like the least, like Kendall Jenner relationships are, to me, it's just like the in crusts of bread. Like I just don't care. Like there's no drama involved. Like I don't know. Like I don't care. Like, but what would be cool is if she was the first gay Kardashian. That would be amazing. And like, wouldn't that be inspiring to a nation of gay kids that would actually like are scared? Like to me, and no other Kardashian has done that. No other Kardashian has. I mean, that could be Kendall's special power.
I know. I always wonder about that. And I don't know if Kendall is or isn't, right?
Yeah.
She's never come out. So
you've always heard rumors.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're the same rumors we talked about before in terms of like Taylor Swift and Carly Kloss.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand the Kardashians, but they're doing something right because they're all like billionaires. So
yeah, but is there doing something like at a certain point, it feels like it would be miserable. Like I want to be like a 6-figure kind of money guy. Like I think I'd be pretty happy with 6 figures of some sort of money. Like, and if you're getting high 6 figures, I think I would be golden. Like, and at a certain point, like, do you and Troy ever talk about like, okay, let's say we get a Spotify, like some contract, whatever, they give us $20 million for 2 years. Would it, I mean, like, I'd flip and retire after those 2 years.
Yeah, I would. I don't know what I'd do. I'd still shop at Old Navy, to be clear.
Yes. Great clothes. There's nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, I agree with you. When is too much too much? Or enough? I don't know what the saying is.
I mean, I guess like, no, but I'm just saying, like, to me, that's what scares me as I get more and more into pop culture. You're like, it's never enough for these people, whether it be Bethany Frankel or the Kardashians. You're like, why do you need to have an opinion on everything? Like, you're already a millionaire. Like, you already hit the promised land. You hit jackpot. Why do you need? And I think there's something that happens where there's some type of personality that will be studied. Also, I was just thinking, you made such a good comment about the guy Kardashian, the males and the Kardashians. Like, think about Rob Kardashian, you guys. He has been protected. Like, he's the only one that they allow not to be on the show. He's the only one that they allow to like just do whatever he wants. I mean, the whole storyline on season 2 was Black China suing them, and Rob didn't even show up to court. The Kardashians did. Like, he didn't even have to show up for his own court case.
Yeah, it's wild.
What are our opinions on Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde's breakup? Have we heard anything how they spent their Thanksgivings this past week?
I don't think so. British. I haven't seen anything. I'm sure Olivia made her salad that everyone loves.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Their relationship, everybody said it was fake, like it was PR, but I do not know why she would blow up her life like that if it's just PR. Do you know what I mean?
Also, yeah, because she's trying. I mean, she's a reputable film director for a female. She's to be trusted with a Warner Brothers film. That's a huge, not even honor, but just huge for the industry and especially females. Why then would you want to be such a tabloid item that you then are starting to get work just because of notoriety rather than talent? I mean, I don't know what the thought process is there.
Yeah, I have no idea. And I think what people need to remember is Jason Sudeikis isn't Ted Lasso in real life.
Yes.
And I think like a lot of people have trouble with that because what Olivia did, I don't I don't know. Like they seemed to be maybe separated or were trying to separate. And then she hooked up with a younger guy or I don't know. And
Yeah.
then people are like, well, she was really unprofessional on set. And I don't know. I kind of think Olivia got a lot of shit for.
But how does I always say this? How does Harry Styles escape all persecution?
I don't know, and it drives me crazy.
Like, I mean, I know he's cute and I know he has great bops and I know all that stuff. But to me, I was like, well, that guy seems like the one that was the troublemaker. And I don't mean like, let's cancel Harry Styles, but I do mean, why are we so upset about Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh not getting along when there's like a common denominator and it's Mr. Styles?
Absolutely. And even during the film festival, when they're doing the standing ovations, like Flo did lean back and clap to Olivia,
Yes,
but never acknowledged Harry.
That's what I'm saying. I think this Harry guy, like a lot of guys, it's just like I don't know. Jennifer and Ben Affleck spent their first Thanksgiving as a married couple. And Jennifer Lopez announced she did a Beyonce and all her social media went black and she took off all her social media and people were like, oh my God. And she then put it all back up with the announcement of a new album, you guys. And it's called what is it called? This is me now. This is me ellipses now. Because she had an album that was called This Is Me. What was the old album called?
Probably
Wasn't there like
This Is Me, right?
Yeah, no. The original album, This Is Me Then, was released on November 25th, 2002, you guys. So This Is Me Now is the exciting of where she is now. And there's even a song, you guys, about Ben Affleck. Do you know what the song's called?
Dunkin' Donuts and Cigarettes.
That's what it is. No, oh my God, I would love that. It's called Dear Ben.
Well, I was close.
Dear, I need the lyrics to Dear Ben immediately. Because by the way, Dear Ben on its face doesn't sound like that sexy of a song title. Like, here's Dear Ben. Didn't Taylor have one? Dear John? Like, didn't she have a John Mayer one or like a Dear John thing? Dear John,
which was great. It was a great breakup song. Dear Ben. I mean, I think that these two are like a real couple, but they're so annoying to me.
Why are they annoying to you?
I just don't like Ben Affleck.
Listen, I always he seems miserable all the time. And that's partly why he's still like smoking and drinking his Dunkin', like no matter how much even the pictures that they posted over Thanksgiving, it's always like she's nestling him and he's like,
he's asleep.
He looks half asleep and half like the part that's up is like completely tortured. It's just, it's very scary. So congratulations.
I did see a tweet. It was like, I forget who tweeted it, but they said that she named it This Is Me Now because before it was Ashanti singing all of her music, which we all know.
Wait, no. Wait, can you explain that to me? I don't know that actually.
Yeah, so if you listen to a lot of Jennifer Lopez's old music, a lot of it.
I don't.
Right. But if you do, Ryan, it's Ashanti. Like Ashanti did a lot of her vocals and they kind of just like mixed their vocals. And I think Ashanti was on like Wendy Williams or something. And someone just yelled out like J-Lo's name and they both just started cracking up.
Wait, see, this is what's fun about pop culture too, is that, and I'm older than Kelli, but Kelli she has a rich historian's brain for pop culture, is that when Jennifer Lopez first came out, like I've done huge sections of the show on this, she was the originator of the big butt, before the Kardashians took over. But she also was the originator of not great vocals in terms of like live. She could dance, but she has a very thin, reedy voice in a lot of ways. And then what's so fun about pop culture is if you have the right manager, I think her manager is Benny Medina, I'm not sure, but if you have the right manager and the right people behind you and you don't give up, like 20 years later, she's considered a legend. She's on like the American Music Awards. They're giving her the Icon Award. Like you just have to wait it out and not give up. And now she's considered a legend.
And what is so crazy is, in my opinion, J-Lo is an industry plant.
Whoa, okay.
So Tommy Mottola and Mariah Carey were obviously a couple. They had a
Yes.
bad breakup. Tommy Mottola tried to completely like blackball Mariah in the whole industry, and he found J Lo, and he decided to back J Lo and kind of make her a big thing to go against Mariah.
Who's gonna be my Tommy Mottola? Come on, who is like who I need my like who is gonna come on, you guys? I am let somebody be my Svengali. That is actually so, but I love how pop culture works though, is that like J-Lo wasn't considered a good singer, you guys. You might have liked her bops and all that stuff like that, but now she's considered one of the top performers of all
Mhm.
time. And I find that really interesting and sad in a way when, you know, like you're like just Elton John just did his like finale, his North American tour. And I'm like, okay, there's like a legend, right? Like this guy has been, and you look at the number of streams. I always find this fascinating on Spotify. He only has like one song that's like a billion streams, and it's the one with Dua Lipa that just got released. And the red, like, you know, Tiny Dancer has like 400,000, like 400, something ridiculous when you're like, that's a historical song. This is a historical guy. But then like Jennifer Lopez, she'll have like just multiple shitty songs with billions of streams. Sorry, you guys.
Let it all out, Ryan. It's a safe
Sorry.
place.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, I know I have just a little bit more time with you. Did you have any familiarity with Todd and Julie Chrisley of Chrisley Knows Best?
No, the only thing I know about them is they live in Nashville. I don't know if they still live there. When I lived there, and I would see Todd at the Green Hills Mall a lot. That's kind of all I know.
You would see him at the mall just shopping?
Yeah.
Todd be shopping. Well, not good because Julie and Todd Chrisley, they are. Oh no, they were sentenced to multiple years in prison and financial crimes. They were sentenced to, I'm trying to find they took out 30 million in fraudulent loans.
Oh my
They
God.
lied to the IRS, and now they are going to go to prison for 12 years and 7 years respectively. But that's like financial crime seems to be really in vogue right now.
Yeah. Pay your taxes, people.
Well, I mean, you
I
know,
don't want to. I don't want
I mean, like, I don't want. I mean, like, also, you don't. I mean, like, what shows do you watch right now? Like, what shows do you not miss? Like, what is on when you sit down in front of the TV? What's your go-tos?
Right now it's Winter House. I don't like it this season, but I am I like Summer House and Winter House a lot.
Me too. I'm so glad you said that because I've talked about this the last couple of weeks. They really broke the glass ceiling with the squirting episode. What an amazing, what is your opinion of everybody on the cast? What do you like? Do you like the guy that wears pearl earrings? What's his name? The pearl necklace?
Corey? Is it
Craig?
Corey?
Corey. Yeah. Do you like Corey?
I don't I think when you're up against like Craig and Austin, he doesn't seem so bad.
That's a great point. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know, but he's no Jason. I love Jason.
See, he suffers from nice guy syndrome, I feel.
Yeah.
He suffers from that guy of like, I'm going to cook for everybody. I'm going to make sure everybody's comfortable. I'm going to make sure. And he seems like he doesn't have that killer instinct. Like Corey is going to like tell you that you look ugly just so he can get in your pants.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like Corey, I guess, but I like him more than Austin and Craig.
What is your opinion on Paige and Craig as a power couple?
It makes me not like Paige as much. Kind of like that first episode where Craig was handing people money, and I've never watched Southern Charm, so I'm only familiar with Craig on these like two shows. Yeah. When he was handing out money and then went up to Amanda and just gave her money, and I don't know,
$500 for a room.
It was just gross. And then when he's like, "I'm not cleaning," in his fucking horrific voice, I just don't like.
Let it all out. Let it all out, Kelly. Let it all out. Yeah.
I was shocked when I found out he was only like 33 or 34.
I actually don't believe that to be true. Like because he seems like a 38-year-old man at least.
That's how old I thought he was.
And I don't mean in maturity. I don't mean maturity wise, but like, I mean, there's that thing where it's like, I always find it funny because he has a pillow empire. That's how it's like, so it's him and Mike Lindell who's like Trump's guy. Like they both sell pillows. You know, Mike Lindell, he's like, my super soft pillow. And he sells them at Walmart's. I love that Craig Conover is in the same industry as Mike Lindell. It always makes me laugh because I feel like these pillows do something to people. Like they turn people bad because Craig's the worst he's ever been once he's starting to get a little pillow money, you know?
That's his pillow talk.
Who's your favorite person on Winter House?
This season, I think Kyle's hysterical. I always find Kyle really funny. I like Rachel though. Rachel just kind of like bops around, stays in her lane, listens to people, and I kind of like like I always like Danielle, like more recent seasons of Summer House, but people who can just kind of fly in and stick up for themselves if they have to, but
did you hear? I mean, like, so Lindsay and Danielle are in like a complete file, but we don't know what it's about.
I was going to say, do you have the gossip?
No, like that. I don't know what it is. And it's killing me. And I don't, because Carl was friends with Danielle too. So, I mean, Carl and Lindsay, of course, we've seen on this last episode of Winter House, like they're so together. And then Austin, I thought that was such a little bitch move about like telling those girls that like on the night of Kyle and Amanda's wedding that she put her hand on his junk. I thought that was like a tattletale moment that he shouldn't have done because he was so creepy on Summer House himself. And he was such a jerk to all those women that I was like, why are you going to act like you were like assaulted all of a sudden?
It's really weird to me that the cast can't fathom that it happened before Carl and Lindsay were together. Because Carl and Lindsay are both like, we got together the first week of October. And they're like, but we got married on September 25th. I'm like, yes, that is before the first week of October.
I know it had me so confused because I was like, oh, and then I was like, wait a sec, wait, no, I'm not good with like numbers, but I'm like, wait a sec, oh my god, what is that? And I was like, no, that means it's like 2 weeks later, like that's fine still. Like I was like, wait, that doesn't mean anything. I was trying to find the big smoking gun of why we're all like furious or what's going on, and so it's like kind of a cliffhanger, which will be interesting, and also it's going to lead directly into Summer House, which comes out in February, you guys.
Oh, okay.
So we'll finally find that out. But I kind of also wonder if like Carl and Lindsay, I'm almost like really curious to see what, like, are they going to fight? Are they going to sober fight? Like, are they going to like, how are they as a couple? Because in this episode of Winter House, they kind of just seem like very coupley and wearing very like clean leather.
Very clean leather with some fur on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Carl was very I'm excited to see that. Also, you don't pay attention to Salt Lake City at all, right? Real Housewives. You do any Real Housewives?
I do watch that, but I feel like I bop in and out. Because sometimes like the way they fight just bores me because they're fighting about nothing. And I'm like, all right. And that's every Real Housewife, I guess. But are you nervous for your girl Jen Shaw?
Oh, it's not my girl. And I'm not, I mean, no, well, that's what I was going to say is that, so they moved her sentencing, you guys. It was supposed to be on December 15th. They moved it to January 6th, which is, you know, obviously what a day in itself.
Yeah.
But by the way, I also do feel Jen will try to take down the government before they sentence her. She will do her own January 6th. But I do wonder though, it's like, can you just keep postponing sentencing? Like, will she ever go to jail? Like, I don't understand the legal system. It seems like it moves so slow that I'm like, I guess good for her family that they get to spend Christmas with her. But at the same time, like, she definitely is going to jail. We just don't know how long for. And is this just can you just keep postponing until like she hits old age? Like, when does it, I mean, can they postpone more after this?
I have no idea, but I think it's so wild that she's still filming. Like that she's just like, no, I'm innocent. And then eventually she's like, actually, I'm not.
Well, that's the other thing about pop culture is that 30% of all people will believe you, whatever you say. Like, so there's 30% of people that believe Jen Shaw is innocent. Like they will actually stand up for Jen Shaw because they honestly believe that there's not liars out there in the world. Right. So like, that's the scary part is that a lot of people still actually do believe in her innocence because she's proclaiming her innocence, even though if they bothered to read the court papers, it's completely, it's the case is built around Jen Shah. The other thing is, I know you probably didn't watch Beverly Hills, but there's another thing. We argued all season about these damn diamond earrings that Erica Jane had that was worth $750,000. Then last week, I told you guys how at auction, or they gave it to the trustees. The trustees were supposedly selling them, and all of a sudden they had a value of $350,000. And I'm no mathematician. Like I told you, I'm not even good on like the dates on Winter House, but that's a wild discrepancy from 750 to 350. Because I was like, what a good deal. Like that's a good Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. But it turns out I had this Ronald Richards, this lawyer who's very, a lot of people hate Ronald because he goes so after Erica. He has really, people really love or hate Ronald Richards, but he makes a point where he did find out that the earrings that she turned into the trustee were not even the same carat size. It's not the earrings she said they were. These earrings were 7.80. The earrings she turned in were 6.01. And like, unlike me, when I go on a diet, like diamonds don't lose weight. Diamonds don't lose weight. Like it does not disintegrate. So I'm like, love Ronald or hate Ronald, there is a big point there that these people really try to pull fast ones all the time.
Yeah, the housewives stuff is so interesting to me just because they're all like so rich and always in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always in trouble, and they're always the quest for fame and the ego is like so, but it's at the same time, it's like that's why we love watching them. But at the same time, it's like it's housewives on steroids lately, where now the government's involved in most of these franchises, and it just doesn't make it's just like you're like, damn, this like scares me. Okay, finally, what are your thoughts on Britney Spears lately? Just an easy question like that.
Oh, thanks for that one.
It's a little easy last question.
You know what? I hope Britney's well. I really hope that Britney is taking time to heal everything that she has been through. That's my hope for Britney. I don't think it's fair how she like dragged her kids on a public setting. I didn't like that. But I hope Britney's well. I am always worried about her though.
I'm just curious, just because even with her Instagram, which I don't follow her Instagram, but she was like talking about some celebrity she was throwing shade at like this weekend. And I didn't know if you knew who she was throwing subtle shade at. Somebody said it was her sister, or somebody said it was like, but they were like, this person was at my wedding, so it couldn't have been her sister. But do you know the post I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I've unfollowed Britney too, just because it's a lot, and I'm very happy she's out of her conservatorship, but yeah.
Oh, wait. Do you have 5 more minutes? Because I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I brought it. Okay, cool. I just remember this. You were the person, and I mentioned this on the show the other day, were the first person I thought when Aaron Carter passed away. Can you explain your relationship with Aaron Carter? Because I was talking about like, I was, that you were like, oh man, I was like, you were addicted to his lives at one point, if you can explain that. But tell us like what your initial, like, were you initially a fan of Aaron Carter, like a lot of women were? Did he mean a lot to you?
I mean, yeah. So I don't think I was like the perfect Aaron person, right? Because I would watch his lives, go on podcasts and talk about it. But we would make fun of it. I'm not trying to act like we were
no, totally. No.
But I do think we tried to look at it through a different lens. Of like the abuse he allegedly went through and all of that. But yeah, I think watching his downfall was really like sad and interesting. Like, I don't know how else to word it, but he was kind of, in my opinion, the first childhood star. Obviously, there have been a lot of childhood stars that have passed away from drug use and all that. But in my opinion, he's kind of like the one who we really watched completely fall, and he invited us into his life so much through like Instagram lives and TikTok lives that somehow you become involved with it. That somehow, all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and you're like, oh my God, Aaron Carter's been live for 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting, and like I don't know. I don't know. It was sad. It was a
It was
sad
one of
one
those
for
like it
sure.
was one of those surprising, not surprising things,
Yeah.
and then because it does like this kid was abused, but like in his final, even in his final weeks, he was just saying like wild stuff. Like he was just, you saw a man that like this is another thing like we were talking about earlier is that you really don't have the world like the odds stacked in your favor when you're a child star of any just it doesn't seem to work out well for a lot of child stars.
For sure. And what's so crazy, I'll say like the last week or two of his Instagram lives, he would still be going off and you'd kind of be like, what's happening? But he was really positive about Nick and Angel for the first time in years. Like he was
And that's
singing.
wild because he said many allegations about Nick and
Yeah.
Angel. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was singing along to Backstreet Boys and he was like, my brother's so talented. So it almost seemed like he was getting better in a way.
Yeah.
Like there was kind of like, it was more positive than negative from what I was seeing at least, but I wasn't on like every live he was doing.
Well, now Pete and Rada, are they a real couple or not?
No
Industry
way.
PR
No
couple?
way.
PR
I
couple.
mean, I'm sure that they're hooking up, but like, come on. Did you see the video of him like driving away?
No, what's the video?
So he pulls up to pick her up on a date and she stops at her door so the paparazzi can get a photo. So all the paparazzi rush. And as she's walking, he drives away. And then, of course, Dumois said that she like took an Uber to his place in Brooklyn. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't like, you can still be hooking up, but still.
I took an Uber to Pete Davidson's place in Brooklyn. Come on, that's not a hard thing to do. I mean, and by the way, everybody out there will have their chance with Pete Davidson. Like everybody is going to like eventually. You're going to have a rumor about Pete Davidson. I'm going to have a rumor about like we're all going to have rumors that we've been with Pete Davidson at one point.
Do you wish for more for Pete though, instead of him just being used over and over and over? Because I do think Pete's in on it.
What a fun way to be used, first off, but.
True.
Psychologically, when he hits his 30s and his 40s, I think it's going to be a different story. I'm not even joking at this point, because remember, nobody talks about and everybody listening, don't go, well, I think he's funny. Like nobody really talks about that great Pete Davidson bit. Like nobody talks about that great, like, oh, The King of Staten Island, my favorite movie ever. Like he is a funny dude, but we don't even touch that. Like we don't touch his talent. We don't even like, it's not even that, because this thing is so much more successful in terms of it eclipses any other talent, because nobody has had the run in females that he really has. He is our Warren Beatty in a lot of ways, but Warren Beatty went out there and guys, this is an old reference because he's like an 80s and 70s and 60s actor. He was directing and writing his own movies. He was winning Oscars. He was like, Pete Davidson needs to do something that is not affiliated with his life. Like he needs to show us that he can act. He needs to show us that he can act like somebody other than Pete Davidson, because right now and Pete Davidson, charming as hell. So when he does King of Staten Island, it's charming. When he does sketches, it's charming. But he needs to show something that it can eclipse the talent of getting every one of the world's most beautiful women. I mean, how are you going to top that? Eventually, we're not going to even try to even look for anything more from this guy.
For sure. And Troy and I talked about how he's no longer on SNL because he would just roll into his weekend update thing. And now it's like, what is he going to do? I know he's going to get into movies, but like you said, how is he going to make that pivot?
And remember, the stories about the SNL was always fascinating because it was like the castmates didn't really even know Pete. They were like, yeah, he just comes in and he does his thing and he's a nice guy. Like, but we don't really know him. Like he just kind of shows up and comes in, comes out. And I thought that was always like really kind of interesting and very telling too, is that he wasn't really part of the cast as like they sit together and they write all night and all of that stuff. Pete wasn't a part of that aspect of SNL. What else are you watching? Do you go do White Lotus? Do you do what's on Sunday night TV for you?
Yeah, I am watching White Lotus. I really love the cast. I tried to watch it last season, couldn't really get into it, but Megan Fahey, she plays, I forget her name, Theo James's wife on the show. She was on the show The Bold Type. So like I'm just excited that people are figuring out like who she is, because I've loved her for years. But Aubrey Plaza, I love her.
Aubrey Plaza is so good. I mean, I feel like this is a real star-making turn for Aubrey Plaza, because she's still playing a very similar character that she's played in the past, but there's something with a little bit of age on it that kind of and just the source material itself kind of just springs it to life in a way that like Parks and Rec didn't for me.
Yeah, and I'm also watching Sex Lives of College Girls on HBO Max. I think that's really funny.
Do you do any documentaries? Did you do The Vow or anything? Did you
I
do?
haven't yet. I'm not like a big TV person. I'm trying. I'm trying to be better, Ryan.
Okay, what's the social life? What's the New York social life for you? Like, where's you clubbing? What are we doing? What
I'm out a lot.
Are you really out a lot?
Yeah.
Wait, is it the winter of Kelli, like the winter of the Laguna Beach? What are we calling this phase of your life? If we're doing Taylor Swift eras, what is this era of Laguna Beach?
Oh my God. I don't even know. Whatever one she's like most chaotic in, probably when she bleached her hair and went to Coachella. That's my era.
Are we close to a bleaching hair moment for you?
No, I had blonde hair long ago, but never again. Too expensive.
Wait, is there something crazy you're considering? Is there a tattoo or a piercing in your future potentially?
I do want to get an allegedly tattoo.
Yeah, I mean that would be amazing. Like that would be. I once thought of doing like a so bad it's good tattoo, but then I was like, how do you even explain? I mean, it's like, how do
you get it on your back like Ben Affleck?
Yeah. I think just a big phoenix rising from the ashes with like so bad it's good in the phoenix's mouth, maybe.
Yeah, and the shirt it's wearing is "Don't Sleep with Tristan Thompson."
Okay, Kelli, Laguna Beach, thank you for doing this. It has been so like you're just one of those people that anybody can talk to. So thank you for making this easy for me. But truly, I am a fan of your work and have been from the beginning. And to see the success of Beyond the Blinds, where you and Troy just killing it, you guys, the Patreon's killing it. The live shows are killing it. The show is killing it. If you don't know this show, you already do. But if you don't, go find out. These are two people with such an amazing knowledge and a great sense of humor. And at the end of the day, they're good people. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? They're not like, it's easier to hear some of the worst things about celebrities that we potentially are, potentially talking about from two good people. You just trust it more. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Kelli, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Ryan, I can say the same about you. I know you don't like to be complimented, but I think one of like your first guests on this podcast.
You were the first guy. You were. And by the way, there was a time where I was like, Kelli, let's do a podcast together. Like I remember being nervous to talk to you. Like I remember going like, oh, I wonder if I'll do good at this talking to you, because your mind scared me, in like just in terms of like the knowledge, like
I need to congratulate you. You've killed it. You have episodes every day. It's insane. And I'm like just proud of you.
Oh, well, I am proud of you. And together we will rule the world.
We're the next Kardashian.
By the way, that's what I want to do. I want to do a podcast tour like Coachella, where like I said, I open up for you guys. We take a private jet. We're doing jet parties and stuff like that. We're going town to town. I do a quick opening where I do 10 so bad it's good moments. And then we go straight into Beyond the Blinds. And then we just pack it up for the next city,
Look at that.
That's what we got to do.
If anyone listening can put that in motion, let's do it.
Yeah. By the way, hey guys, you know me. I'm completely disorganized. If you can make that happen, great. Thanks. Okay, you guys, Beyond the Blinds. Where do we find all things? Like, how do we sign up for the Patreon and stuff like that?
Everything link in bio on Laguna Beach or Beyond the Blinds Instagram.
And by the way, don't try to take her account down again. Like let her have opinions about music, please. Can you at least let her do that? Like let her have her own opinions without trying to ruin her whole life. Because that's the thing that you guys, the minute my account gets taken down, like it's like when Superman loses his powers. Like I'm done. Like I'm gonna move out. Like I'll just move to the woods, like some like Rambo or something, and just like because it'll be over. Like I'll be so sad and I won't have an outlet to make fun of celebrities.
No, and if you work for Instagram, let us know so we can bother you when our account gets taken down.
Wait. Okay, sorry. I could one. Okay. Do you ever? You notice how like you're a bigger Instagram account and you actually post like the coolest photos, and you do have a night. Like sometimes I have like a snarky slant, and sometimes even in your podcast, you and Troy will be very honest about things. Do you ever foresee yourselves having to rein it in? Have you talked about that of like, we should err on the side, not of caution because of suing, but like, we want to get some brand deals and we want to get, we want to get our Old Navy line of clothing out. Like, do you ever, because I noticed that with certain accounts where you notice the switch where they're only posting positive things all of a sudden?
It would probably be smart for us to do that, but I don't think we have that in mind at all.
Yeah, good. That's okay.
I found out Disney was actually going to work with me. They had me in mind, then they saw biatch and said, nope.
Wait, I love that Disney's such a slow reader that they're like, Laguna.
I know.
I love it.
I was pitched to them by somebody and they told me that, like, because it's biatch. I'm like, well, I can't take that down now.
Oh, I know. No, that's not biatch. No, that means natch, like naturally, be natch. Okay, Kelli Williams, thank you so much, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.